Okay, this is the EVVA 3KS. It's a high security lock made by EVVA. It has a really interesting key with a lot of slider tracks on it. The lock has a total of 12 unsprung sliders that has false gates, and these are not mastered, so this makes it a black belt version. I'm going to be using this 40,000's top of the keyway, 2-in-1 tensioner. The top of the keyway here fits perfectly, and this short flat hook by Moki. I'm going to be using this old video angle that I was using in my old videos because I have to look through the keyway and it's really hard to do in my new angle, so this picking video won't be the best video to watch because most of the time you'll be seeing my hand doing this. It's kinda sucks, but I'll have to pick it, so sacrifices must be made. So now I'll start picking this. It's really hard to navigate inside the keyway, especially when all these slider nubs are getting on the way. I'll be picking the left side first. think I'm done with the left side, but the right side is really giving me trouble. I'm still struggling. think we're really almost there. Let me check real quick. Can't see properly. What is holding us down? Oh my god. Oh, finally. God, I've been doing this for like almost 20 minutes, but oh god. Oh my god, finally. Oh. Whew. Okay, adjust the camera, and as you can see, it is picked. Oh my god, that was a really exhausting pick, but I'm glad I did it. I think I was keep oversetting the third or fifth slider on the right side, probably because I was like keep setting them and dropping them again, like pushing them down from the upper side. And anyways, as you can see, oh, the clip is getting in the way. There we go. As you can see, it is picked. Now I'm going to show you something, because there is this. If you see inside the keyhole, you can see the sliders. Give me the focus. Focus. There we go. As you can see, there is not only the slider nose, but also this part. Focus again. There we go. This metal part, this is part of the slider actually, and you can see that there are at both sides of the keyway. If you look at the key, and let me hold this real quick, just like that. And if you look at the key, there is this little dent on both sides of the key. Basically, when you push the key and turn, this extruding part of the sidebar will actually come inside the lock and go right in this dent. So if the key does not have this dent, the key won't turn because the sidebar will not be able to retract more inside the lock. When you are picking this lock with the tensioner, you must be sure that your tensioner is not blocking this sidebar part, extruding part, because if you do, then even if you somehow pick all the sliders, this lock won't turn more because the slide bar can't come in, basically. But anyways, we successfully picked it. Now let's relock it, just like that. And let's try gutting it. Now, gutting it is also kind of tricky. This lock has some really interesting designs, so we need something special. That's a special way to gut this lock. Let me adjust the angle first. It's going to be a little unstable. I'm just putting something on the camera so that it can go on a better angle. But anyways, I actually have to remove the back cam first, and to be honest, that is like the most hardest part. This cam is really weird. It's one of these with a hole, and I do have a plier for this, but this is a Chinese one, and I filed down the tips, but I somehow filed it a little bit weird, so it doesn't really work well with this. It's also very tight, so I'll kind of have to like pry this thing off like this. I did it once yesterday. It was successful, but also it wasn't the most fun experience. And I hope this doesn't take like too much time, because again, this is not fun. Let's lift up like just like that. Okay. Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, okay. Doing it once probably made it a little bit easier, because last night it was really hard to do this, and I almost like cut myself or stabbed myself while doing this, and it was not a really good time, but this time is better. This part is stuck yet again. I have to like really pry this thing off. Come on, you're almost there. We're almost there. There we go. Oh. Ooh. My god, that is horrible. Now, normally when you gut a lock, you kind of put the key rotate it a little and try to use some follower like this, but no, this won't work. This is slider lock, and when you put the key and turn it, it'll align the sliders up and down, but actually those sliders will partially stick out from the cylinder, and those sliders will actually kind of make the cylinder unable to come out. So what you have to do is actually align all the sliders to the center. Normally, to do that, you just have to put the key and hold the cylinder horizontally like this so the sliders won't be affected by gravity. And you pull the key out, then the sliders will be aligned because these grooves on the key is centered on the part where the key removes them. When you remove the key, these sliders will all automatically align to the center. So put the key, slowly pull it out while not disturbing the sliders. All you have to do is like push, but this is kind of tricky. So what I have here is a 3D printed 3KS gut key. This basically just does the same thing as what I just explained. It holds and aligns the slider nubs to the center so I can pull it out more easily. So what I do is first use the key to generally align them and put this gut key and then push, and then there we go. The reason I couldn't push it out with only the key was that there's this top bar, which is basically just another key control mechanism that interacts with these bittings on the top of the key, but that's really stiff in this lock, and that was the reason, because if I try to force it, then I would knock sliders away, then it won't work. So holding it with this gut key and then sliding it out is much more easier. Now, something to be careful is if you don't have this gut key, then these sliders will either drop up or fall down because there's nothing that is holding the sliders. So you have to be careful. Hold your finger like this so they don't fall out. And of course, there are two sidebars, which is sprung. So be careful of that. Be careful about that too. Hold the fingers like this and pull it out just like that. If you don't have a gut key, these sliders will fall out, so you also have to kind of cover just like that with your fingers. Let's look at the sidebar first. Now I have a gut key, so this will kind of hold the sliders. And there are two sidebars on the side, just like that. They do not go in because, as you can see, this key only centers the sliders to the center, not on the true gates, so they won't go in further. The sidebars are kind of interesting. Let's see the right sidebar. This is how the slider looks. There's springs on it. This is the part that I talked earlier when this part will stick out of the keyway. I'll show you later without all the sliders, but that's how it goes. And as you can see, the sidebar has this little groove. Basically, it looks like this on the side, and this part and this part, the part where it's extruding, will go inside the true gates of the sidebar, I mean the slider. Now this is the right one. Whoops, almost fell down. This is the left one. These sidebar orientation and directions all matter, so be careful when you're gutting them and reassembling them. It's going to be tricky if you mix them up. Now, the core. There is this little part. This is the top bar. This has these wriggle things, which basically, oh god, focus. There we go. This basically matches just fine like this on the key. So if you see on the core, there are these two are the sidebar groups, and there are groups on top and bottom as well. These basically will, the core turns like this, and if the top bar bitting and the key bitting does not match, and when you turn like this, the top bar also acts like a sidebar. You don't have to pick it with, because it'll automatically fall down, but if a wrong key is inserted and turned, the top bar won't be able to drop down inside and the core will not turn. Again, this is a key control mechanism, and as picking wise, it does absolutely nothing, so you don't have to worry. Okay, now this is the important part, the sliders. As I told you, these will fall down if nothing is holding back. Before I do that, I'll show you. This is how these sliders are arranged when the gut key is inserted, meaning that it's centered. The nubs are centered. The right side and the left side, as you can see, is not organized. Now, if I use the actual key, it's going to be a little bit more interesting. Now the key is holding it, so again, the sliders won't drop down. But as you can see, if the key is inserted, these sliders are poking out of the core, just like that. Let me show you, just like that. So you can't pull the core out. But the key, the correct key, aligns these true gates successfully. As you can see, there's a nub holding on, a nub sticking out on the center, and there's these low parts on up and down. Those low parts interact with the sidebar, just like that. So if, where's my tweezer? There we go. So if the correct key is inserted, then the sidebar is able to go further, just like that. The gut key is very convenient when gutting because it holds the other sliders well. My god, I'm doing this for almost 40 minutes. I'm really exhausted right now, so I'll gut this quick and let's call it a day. Start with the sixth one on the right side. I'm slowly going to remove this gut key and push out sliders one by one. This is the best way I figured it out to not mix up things, because if you do, it's going to be very, very tricky to recover. A little bit more. There we go. This is the sixth slider of the left one. This is the bottom side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, either left or right, and the orientation all matters. Whoops. This is the right side, sixth slider. There we go. You have to be careful not to mix these up. This is the fifth one. Oh, I have to do it a little bit more. It's the fifth one, the right side. Ooh, almost dropped it. It's really, really hard. You have to focus. This is the right fourth of the right one. This is the fourth on the left one. Whoops. Ooh, yeah, things like that can happen, which is not desirable. Push the thing out. This is the third one on the left side. Whoops. Ooh, dangerous. It's the third one on the right side. I am on the right side, right? Yeah, I'm on the right side. the top part has this groove for the top bar, and the bottom part is sealed. Okay, we have almost done. This is the second one on the left side. Okay. And this is the second one on the right side. Finally, the first one on the right side. And the first one on the left side. Oh, God, that is all the sliders. Let me rearrange them. Whoops. Oh, don't do that. Oh, I was kind of off angle. I just realized. I'm really concentrating right now, so top bar. Okay, that seems good. Let's look at the key just one more time. As you can see, there are a lot of tracks, but basically this key is reversible, so the tracks here, tracks there are all fine. I mean, the same. If you look closer at the sliders, hang on, let me zoom just a little bit when I'm explaining. You can see that there are sliders with one nub and two nub. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 on the left side, and 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1 on the right side. There are forgot the word. They are intertwined like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. The one nub slider has a little bit longer nub, and the two nub is a little bit more shorter. The key has bitting for both. Let me rezoom again and a little bit closer. There we go. Whoops, it's hard to keep focus. Let me lock it. There we go. As you can see, there are deeper tracks. These deep tracks are for the sliders with one nub, and there are these two shallow tracks that are basically the same shape. As you can see, it's connected. They are one like twins. So these shallower tracks are for the sliders that has two nubs. So it's really kind of hard to read bitting from the keys to determine like which slider will go a certain amount of height. It's kind of different from reading bittings on a pin tumbler key. Wow, my tongue is really exhausted. I'll have to wrap up quickly. I did promise you to show you the retaining mechanism, so I'll just show you that, just in case. There are no sliders installed, and I just will not install the topper as well, because it doesn't really matter. Let me only put the slider, so, I mean, the sidebar. Wow, I am really exhausted, it seems like. And put the core in. So this will just turn with any force, and if you see close, where's my tensioner? There we go. If you see close, this core currently doesn't have anything, but when I turn it, it's going to. I'll show you both cases. The case that where I said that it will basically be blocked by the tensioner. Let's try this. If you try to turn, it doesn't, because my tensioner is blocking this sidebar from retracting. But if we do not block and turn the core, watch carefully, boom. As you can see, the extruding part of the sidebar actually comes inside the core like this. It closes. Normally that part will drop down into groove here. Right here, when the key is used, so it doesn't matter. But when you're picking it, if your tensioner does not block the room, it will turn like this with no problem. But when your tensioner is blocking the part that the bar will drop, it can't, because the bar needs to drop in order to the sidebar to retract completely and turn the core. So when you are picking this lock, you must be sure that the tensioner is not blocking that part. It's kind of easy to avoid. You have quite a bit of room on this top of the keyway, so it's going to be not that difficult. Okay, I demonstrated that part as well. Whoops, oh my god. It's a really wacky video, this one, it seems like. But I'm glad I have this filmed. Whoops. Final examine on the core. There's really nothing on the core. There's some anti-drill stuff, the core sidebar groove, the part where the slider goes, where the top bar goes, the bottom part. There's this little metal part, like there's this round thing and it goes like this, and I honestly have no idea what this is. So, but if you insert the key, this part is actually pushed up, kinda. I think it's another a little bit of a key retaining mechanism, because that this round thing actually holds onto this part of the key, so it probably is holding the key more securely with the sidebar thing as well, but I am not sure. It's just like a little C-shaped clip, C like that. But again, I do not really know what the true purpose of this is, so still a mystery. But anyways, oh my god, focus. There we go. Okay, one final overview and I'll wrap this video up. My tweezers. Whoops. Don't do that. Where is my tweezer? There we go. This is how, whoops. Ugh, hard. This is how the sliders look like. This is the two nub version. Wow, I can't even talk. Wait a minute. I should not have done this when I was rearranging my camera. That was not a good idea. Oh, make it stand again. This is my tablet, and I'm having a hard time organizing this to make it film well. Things happen. Anyways, back to the demonstration. Come on, focus. There we go. As you can see, there are two true gates. They're basically considered as one because, as you can know, sidebar is shaped like this and will drop down like that. On the true gate, oh my god, focus. Gotta lock focus again so it doesn't do it. It'll drop in like that, flush. But if it's on the false gate or nothing, let me grab it again. It'll bind up against the wall like this. It's hard to grab. Oops. Well, magic trick. Oh my god, it's not cooperating with me. I just wanted to show you guys how it works. True gate and false gate. As you can see, it cannot go. There's this shallow false gate at the bottom. Okay, I think that's it. I think I covered everything I can. Whoops, focus again. Okay, real final overview this time. The key, I gotta say, it's really cool looking key. And there are all 12 sliders. As you can see, every single one of them are not mastered and have false gates. A few general tips. Basically, this is like the orientation of the sliders when I picked. So the top bar is on the top side. So I lifted them. Basically, the slider will start on the top. So the ones with the false gate are at the bottom of the true gate. They really won't engage. You just lift it until it clicks and they will stay in the true gate. They will occasionally drop a little like tapered pins, but you just have to like wriggle them again to make them stay in the true gate. The tricky ones are that the sliders with the false gate on the upper side. As you can see, the sidebar will start up here, and when you push the slider, it'll first bind on the false gate. You basically have to like kind of treat them as like spools, gins. You have to release tension a little bit and try to lift them up out the false gate and into the false gate. I mean, into the true gate. In the process, you will probably drop a couple set sliders. You have to return to them, set them again, wriggle them, test them if they are set. Set sliders on TrueGate will jiggle very freely. Not set sliders or a slider in the false gate will either bind tightly or they will jiggle a lot less. So I had 2, 4, and 5 slider on the left side and 1, 2, 3 on the right side that they had to be picked out of the false gates. The tricky part that I mentioned earlier, the 4th one and the 5th one, the 5th one is like real low lift, so I really overshot this slider a lot while setting the other ones on the back because my hook got stuck on it, so it was really tricky, but in the end I was able to open it. So yeah, so I think that's about it. And also I think I have gave everything that I wanted to talk about this log. So okay, I'll see you guys again.